Well, hello and welcome back to Unfiltered Travel Talk. And today is a special one for me because I have Joe with Royal Caribbean, who is a mentor to us here at Nationwide Cruises. So, Joe, thank you for joining us today. And I know I've got some questions for you that I just want to talk about everything Royal Caribbean today, but focus on two big milestones with Royal Caribbean, the new Legend of the Seas. That's what we're going to talk about, right, Joanne? Mainly.
It is. Yes, it absolutely is. I'm excited to talk about all things
And
legend.
yes, and then also the big thing that was just announced today on April 1st. It's not April Fools for this
It
announcement either. Royal Caribbean's fourth Icon class ship, is that right? Fourth.
is the 4th,
Seems
yes.
insane. The new hero of the seas has been announced, and she's coming out next year. But we're not going to talk too much about the hero today. But the new Legend of the Seas that's almost completed. It's almost built. Am I wrong or right?
Well, you are absolutely right, and a few months ago, we actually announced that the construction was going so well that we upped the delivery date. So that doesn't happen very often in the shipbuilding world. So, yeah, we're gonna actually be taking delivery of the beautiful new baby girl at the end of June, so that's gonna be really exciting times for us. As you know, she's been open for sale for some time now too.
Right. And the good news is it's going to start sailing in Europe, not the Caribbean, not yet, but it's going to be in Europe. So those that can get to Europe and you want to be part of the very first cruise, that's exciting, even though it has been moved up. Was it 1 week or 2 weeks from its original
It
launch
was
date?
like a 1 week, yeah, 1 week move
That's
up date.
amazing. That's just
Yeah.
amazing. And of course, I love what they're doing on this with the what is it called? The inter
Yeah, no, you hit it right. Interporting is a kind of a cruise industry term that we use, and it's really interesting because it allows guests to choose if they want to board the ship, say, in Barcelona. So they would do their trip round trip Barcelona, or they can do their embarkation in Rome, which would allow them then to do a round trip Rome. So that's what we mean by interporting. Guests are allowed to embark either in one port throughout the journey of the itinerary or another. So it would be, again, in this case, it would be round trip Barcelona or round trip Rome. And then you would decide, I guess, what works best for your vacation experience as far as where you would want to do your pre and your post vacation.
Yeah. For me, I have to admit, though, I had probably rather board in Rome just because you go into Rome a few days before. And because it is what it's about an hour and a half from the city center up to the port there. So my preference is honestly to get on in Rome because probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but this is unfiltered travel talk, right? Yes, you can board in Barcelona and go visit Rome, but you're not going to have as much time in Rome if you do it that way, you know? So think about that. Even though, and I call it interboarding, it's actually interporting, is what it's called.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. You know, Rome offers so much history and culture. And to have just one day there, it's really not enough. So the ideal itinerary for that, I believe I agree with you. I would definitely do or suggest perhaps getting on in Rome and having a few days before. And you actually could do a few days after as well, right? Because you're going
Oh,
to be
yeah,
boarding and disembarking. So you'll have
absolutely.
um,
Yeah, and you've got to go
opportunity.
into Europe a minimum of 2 days in advance, whether it's Rome, Barcelona, or one of your ships that starts in what Athens or Venice, any of the ports in Europe. You've got to
Mhm.
go in early. But yeah, Rome is my favorite. Something interesting that, believe it or not, a lot of our customers will do, even though they go into Barcelona early and they go to Rome, then when the ship ends in Barcelona, many times we will fly them from Barcelona to Rome, and then they will go over and stay a few extra days just to get that experience, or even other cities in Europe. So there's
Yeah, and
options on this.
we you know, we haven't really touched on this yet, but Later in the year, in October, Legend will make her journey from Europe, Barcelona, to her home port, which will be Fort Lauderdale. So that might be a great opportunity to minimize one air flight because you would actually fly over. You could do the 7-night Mediterranean cruise that the Legend has to offer before the transatlantic and then bring the transatlantic back from Barcelona over to Fort Lauderdale, which is where her home port will be. And
Right.
there's other ships that do that as well, right? We could probably do a whole segment on the advantages of transatlantics in the spring and in the fall.
That's right. Transatlantics too, they're more popular than ever. I can remember back years ago when, I hate to say it, ships were not filling those transatlantic cruises, and now they are. They're filling them way in advance. Oh, and the cool thing too, you're talking about the transatlantic that the Legend's gonna be doing when it comes over to South Florida, then it's gonna be doing a 3-night cruise.
That's right. That's right. We've got a one-time 3-night cruise that's gonna be kind of our introductory cruise or the inaugural cruise of the Legend when she gets to Fort Lauderdale.
Yep, which I just booked for myself on that one, so, you know what? Hey, guys,
Nice.
stay on there and then you can hang out with me.
Come sail with
I have
Danny.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
like it.
I have a great time, and not to go away from the Legend of the Seas, because that's really what I really wanted to quiz you on today. Uh, don't forget the Harmony too. We're talking about transatlantics. I have never seen a transatlantic for a ship in the summer. There's a few here and there on new ships, but the Harmony's doing one this summer from Europe over to my Port Canaveral, your Port Canaveral, your
That's
port here
right.
too.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So that is very rare to see a summer transatlantic. And the exciting news about the Harmony, I know we're switching gears a little bit, but Harmony is an Oasis class ship, and she is going through a revitalization along with Liberty of the Seas this spring and the Ovation of the Seas. And when we talk about revitalization, we're not just talking about the ship is going into dry dock and we're going to spiff it up a little bit. We're putting millions of dollars into amping her up so that it will be up to scale with the newer ships that we're introducing. So as we bring out all these new ships, right, we're introducing new restaurants and new lounges and bars and new activities on board. So we want to keep the fleet consistent with the new ships. So that's why the amplification programs are so important. So Harmony will be going through an amplification this spring, and then I'm spending a little time in Europe doing the Mediterranean cruise. And then July, I want to say it's the 20s, she's doing her transatlantic from Barcelona to
Yep.
Port Canaveral. And then when she gets to Port Canaveral, she's going to be doing a series of the 554 itineraries with some sprinkling of 7 nights. And just for fun, we have added some 2-night cruises to the Harmony. So those will be September and October dates. Even there's a February date in 2027. So that'll be a perfect day CocoCay
Ooh,
call, port of call. So it's a great way to try out an Oasis class or cruising in general if you've never cruised before, or what the heck. I'm taking my grandkids because
right?
not that I only want to be with them for 2 nights, but it just fits perfectly with our schedule to jump on right here in Port Canaveral with them and take them, on a cruise, a 2-night cruise. They're so busy with their sports activities and school that it really just worked out. It was ideal for us.
Yeah, no, that's the Harmony. Honestly, I know that they can do things to re-amplify it and make it better, but I was just on the Harmony, what, 2 years ago, and that ship, it's fantastic. She's great. So, whatever they're doing to it's gonna be amazing on top of that. And yeah,
Yeah,
the
we're
2
adding
nights,
like,
I'm already booked on the 2 nights in October myself, 'cause
okay.
those
Hey, are we
those
on the same one? I'm going in October. Maybe we're
Octo
on the
maybe
same day.
is it October? September, I think.
Oh, you're on the September date.
I
I'm going to
think.
be October. Yeah, but
I don't know.
we can
I've got
compare
too
notes.
many because those short
So
getaways work for me to get out and see the ships. Those
hey,
work for
that's
me.
great. You could either sail with Danny or you could come
Yeah,
sail with Joe, whichever
that's
you like.
right. Exactly.
We'll both
But
be on.
yeah, that's cool to hear about the Harmony. That it's I knew it was doing the transatlantic, but I didn't realize they were doing so much work to it. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah.
even
And I
better.
I know
Go ahead.
we really got off the subject of the Legend, but since we're talking about Port Canaveral, I also just wanted to mention the other day I was looking at the port schedule. And do you know, Danny, we have 5 ships in Port Canaveral. That is amazing, and that's just for Royal Caribbean. I know there's many,
Yeah,
many other choices, but 5 ships sailing out of Port Canaveral with the Royal Caribbean brand, and, of course, we've got the Tampa and the Fort Lauderdale and Miami, but we certainly have lots of options and choices for
right.
everybody.
In Tampa, you've gotta come back because we've gotta talk about Tampa too. We got
Yeah.
how many ships out of there
Oh
through
gosh, I think I counted
2028?
real fast. There's 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
the ratings class and vision class. So, yeah, it's the Grandeur, the Enchantment, the Rhapsody, the Radiance, the Jewel, actually, so 5 ships, yeah.
yep. The Enchantment, one of my favorite classic ships. It
Do
really
you
is.
remember back when? I mean, this has been years ago, but that was the ship that we cut in
Yes.
half and we inserted a 75-foot midsection to the ship. And I always joke that we super glued it back together and put it out, and it's been floating ever since. But I mean, what a task to be able to actually physically cut a ship in half and put a midsection in just to make it longer and bigger and more
Amazing.
exciting.
Absolutely. I think that's the only time Royal has ever done that too, right? Or have they done another one?
I wanna say maybe one other ship, but it's the only one that I can recall.
That's what yeah. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm reading Richard Fain's book right now, what's The Wow
Yeah.
Factor, and he
I
talks
love that
about
book.
that. I know. I've gotta get through it. I've started like 3 weeks ago, and I keep getting a little,
It's
sidetracked
a
with it,
busy
but
time right now.
it is. It's busy. It's busy, busy, busy. And you talk about Port Canaveral with you having 5 ships here. I remember the days when we had ships really on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's it. And yesterday I had to drive by the port and I thought, wait, it's Tuesday. What? There's 2 ships here. What is going on? So,
Yeah, well, we have ships that actually, come into port as a port of call as well.
yeah,
So it's a very busy, very active port for
it
sure.
is. And I
It's
love that
growing
we're
so
both so
fast.
close
Yeah.
to it. But
Yeah.
going back to the legend, so Europe, some of the ports of call that it's gonna be doing, we've already talked about Rome and Barcelona, how you can interport and board at either one of those ships, but, Naples, Marseille, and what's the other port?
Province
Mallorca.
is
Mallorca.
Mallorca. Yeah.
Yeah, that it's gonna be going to. So those are some great ports. I'm excited about those itineraries mainly because the interporting and it gives, our customers the flexibility to board where they want on those dates where that's available. But the transatlantic is even more exciting, but the 6 and 8 night cruises on a new ship is this is just what's the correct word this is people want that they want those longer cruises for those that can go, and then those 6 nights on a new ship. Really, I mean, I love them, especially to the ports of call that they're going to, of course, CocoCay. Royal Caribbean's gotta take a new ship to that, product. There's just
Yeah, and
no
that's
way.
the beautiful
They
thing.
have
You're
to.
on this big, new, beautiful ship, right, with all the wow factors, but you tie that into or combine it with a visit at Perfect Day Coco Cay. It's just a winning combination. And you're right. We normally, especially with the Icon series, we only offer 7-night itineraries
Mm,
doing the Eastern Caribbean and the Western Caribbean. So what's different for the Legend is when she gets to Fort Lauderdale, she's going to be doing the 6-night Western Caribbean by the 8-night Southern Caribbean, which will allow our guests, of course, to get down to Aruba, Curacao, and a new port, kind of new. It's not a brand new port, but kind of new for us
right.
to visit, is Cabo Rojo in the Dominican Republic, which is a beautiful port. It's at the very southern point of Haiti and I'm sorry, of Dominican Republic. And it's beautiful beaches and crystal water. It's a resort that's there, so it offers relaxation for our guests that are visiting Cabo Rojo.
I have never been to that port. I've been to the other
I
2
haven't
ports in
either.
Dominican. So and
I think we see
that's
another
on the
cruise in the
8th night.
future for us.
Let's
That's
do
on the
it.
8th night.
That's on the
Yeah,
8th night, okay.
that
Yeah,
is
that
on the
that
8th night.
8 night works out so perfect for so many people. It really does, but even the 6 I think the 6th night the 8th night, the itinerary, I absolutely love, but I love the 6th night on that ship too because of Costa Maya and Cozumel, and,
Yeah,
of course, Perfect
yeah.
Day now okay, I'm just drawing a blank. Is it Cozumel or Costa Maya where Perfect Day Mexico will be?
Okay, so in The later half of 2027, we're gonna be introducing Perfect Day Mexico, and that is actually, docking at Casa Maya and then a short transfer ride, via these really amazing buses that we're going to be that we're designing and taking our guests to. So Casa Maya is the port that we visit to take you to the Perfect Day Mexico. And then Royal Beach Club properties, which we've got a whole
Mm,
series of Royal Beach Club properties. Later this year, we're going to be introducing our second Royal Beach Club property, which will be Royal Beach Club Cozumel. And that's in Cozumel at
right,
Playa Maya Beach.
right. And that's one of my favorite ports in Cozumel.
I love Cozumel. I could go there every
It
day of the
really
week. I just love it.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I had a group last October, and we were supposed to go to Dominican Republic, but we had to get rerouted because of a storm, and that's okay. So went to Cozumel instead, and some of the group they were all saying, "Oh, Cozumel, we've been there 100 times. We don't. Why are we going there?" Well, they changed their tune real quick when I said, "It's okay. We're going to get off the ship, and we're going to take the ferry over to Playa del Carmen,
Oh,
and
nice.
we are going to go shopping and playa." So it all worked out, but now I've got a real problem. If
Yes,
we're
you
gonna
do.
have Royal Beach Club in Cozumel, I won't be able to do my favorite thing and hop on the ferry and go to playa now. I think
Well,
I'm gonna
I
be
see another cruise in your future. You'll have to do another cruise so you can one could go to the Royal Beach Club property, the other you'll have to take your ferry over to
That's right. No, that's
Playa.
the Royal Beach Club. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like, with the Royal Beach Club going in there, then, I don't think I'll be taking the ferry over with the new private destination
Yeah,
there.
at least for a while.
No,
You know yeah,
I can't
and the
wait to
Royal
get to
Oh, I was gonna say the Royal Beach Club properties, that is a whole new series also that we're rolling out, and we just had our first one. I don't remember if you said you visited Royal Beach Club over at, Paradise Island,
Not
but
yet.
it has been a home run for us. I haven't been there since we did the grand opening. We did do a construction site walkthrough on one of our national sales meetings, so we had a chance to see it under when it was under construction phase, but it from what people have shared with me and what we're hearing in the trade, it's absolutely been a home run. People love the Royal Beach Club at
Yes.
Paradise Island.
I can't wait to see it. I'm coming down in, the end of May for a little ship inspection, and that's on a Thursday, and I thought, "Well, why not jump on the Jewel on Friday?"
Awesome.
And so I'm planning to do that. I've gotta go out and look at that, see if I can book that, 'cause I wanna see it. I'm hearing really, really cool things about it, and it's so
Yeah,
easy to get there with the ferries that from the port there in Nassau, you hop on the ferry, right? Straight over to the
right.
Royal Beach Club.
Right from the harbor over to that long strip of land, which is about 17 acres, it's probably less than a 5-minute tender ride going back and forth. And of course, our tenders are not just these are really fun tenders. They all have crazy names and they're all painted really bright colors. We actually had the tenders constructed and made over in France and then brought over. So this is our ferry operation. And it's a two-story ferry. So you can either be up on the top deck enjoy the sunny breeze, or you can be down below and catch the shade if you need to.
Yeah,
So it's two different launching pads over at the Royal Beach Club property. You can get off either at the end, which would be for the party zone, or you
okay,
can get off more by the family or the chill zone area. So we have
okay,
three different areas of the Royal Beach Club property that guests can enjoy. It's a pretty easy walk. It's a long strip of land, not super wide, but lots of
mhm,
space. I think the capacity there is like 4,000 guests. So, we can handle lots of folks, but have a lot of room. But it's a very immersive experience of the Bahamian culture and culinary experience as well. So I don't know if you know, but when you purchase your ticket, because this is a shore excursion, you
right,
actually get an all-inclusive experience or ticket. So it's your It's your drinks, it's your Wi-Fi, it's your dining, and of course your tenders and your towels and the umbrellas and all that. And another fun fact, Annie, is the pools over there are heated. So
Ooh.
having a winter like we've all experienced almost
Mhm.
everywhere this year, it's really nice. Even in the Bahamas, the water gets a little chilly during the winter months. So we've got the pools heated there as well. So
I had
fun fact.
no but another fact that you just said makes me think of something, and I did not know this. That's why I love these. You said it accommodates 4,000 people?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's the capacity.
Well, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. I see a big problem with that, and if we have 2 Royal Caribbean ships or 3 in port, you've gotta book that early because that's an excursion.
Yeah,
You
it is
can't
an
wait.
excursion. Yeah, and, of course, we do recommend always to pre-book all of your excursions and your experiences because we don't want you to be disappointed. Don't wait till you get on board the ship to book. Now
No.
we do capacity control and we do hold some space back. So guests that have not had a chance to get on the website or the app prior to book, there is inventory. So whenever you see something that might be sold out, no sad faces. Make sure
Right,
that once you get on board that you run right to the shore excursion desk to check to see. The great thing about our shore excursions as well is guests have the capability or opportunity to cancel 24 hours prior without any penalty. So there's always
right.
kind of a fluid inventory too, if you will. So we can always take a wait list. But I like your suggest best. Please book early. Make sure you're not disappointed with
Early,
that.
that's huge. We see that way too often, and that we could do a whole other segment, a whole other podcast on booking your shore excursions and booking your onboard entertainment and dining and stuff. So, but
Yeah,
that's a whole different ballgame that we need to get into. When you said 4,000 people, that really threw up something with me there that for our guests that are going to Nassau or any of the other ports that have Royal Caribbean's own private destination, you gotta book those early,
absolutely.
big time, but
Absolutely.
I wanna get back to the legend more,
Yeah, let's talk back.
yeah, because that was some good stuff. I always get sidetracked when I'm doing
That's the beautiful thing about these, you never know where the conversation's gonna lead.
No, you don't. So, but I wanna talk about some of the rooms on the Legend. We can't talk
Yeah,
about all of them. There's just no way that we can talk about all the different room categories because the Oasis class, the Icon class, there are so many different suite accommodations and room accommodations that we could probably be here for 2 hours talking about them. But
absolutely.
I've been thinking about before, we were going to do this on the Legend of the Seas. I went through and looked at our inventory to see what our customers are booking the most of. And the three I want a little bit more insight from you on these because I know them fairly well. The Surfside Family Suite. This is so incredibly popular with our families because of it's space. I have not seen one yet because every time that I've been on the Star of the Seas or the Icon, they're always sold out, so I can never get in to see one. Of course, I've seen videos and renderings of it, and customers that were booking are telling us about it. But tell me a little bit more about the nook that's in the Surfside Family Suite, and there's actually a balcony and then there's a section that has just a window with a sofa, right, that turns into a bedroom.
Yeah, it's got so much space. So there's so much private space, I guess is the best way to describe it, especially for families. So with the Nook, it is where the bunk beds are located for the sleeping for the children or adult children, I guess, depending on who gets selected to sleep in there. But at the end, at the head of each of the beds, you've got each bed has its own TV monitor. So how perfect is that? Kids don't have to fight over what channel they want to watch. They can each have their own channel. There's a privacy curtain that closes. So again, privacy for the kids, privacy for mom and dad. And then the balcony area is there's a sofa there that pulls into a double. So again, more privacy, more space to spread out. Can be a sitting area during the day. and it's just got so much space
Yeah,
located there. And
yeah.
did you mention that it has an infinite balcony?
Not an infinite balcony, right? It's a
Okay.
real balcony.
It's a real balcony, yes. I thought I heard you say infinite, but yeah, so it's got a balcony that overlooks the Surfside neighborhood, and Surfside neighborhood was really designed for families with our younger guests, so
Mhm.
what a brilliant place to have these, um the Surfside Family Suites located because you're right there at the access to have access to the Surfside neighborhood. Now, in
Yes,
Surfside neighborhood, you've got the arcade, you've got the Splashaway Bay, you've got the children's pool, you've got the Adventure Ocean program, which is our programming for our youth counselors that do all the interactive, fun, and educational programs for our 6 different age groups. So everything's really right there contained to where your cruisers or younger cruisers
mhm,
want to be. And we even have, the Sprinkles ice cream machine is located there. We've got fun bites for the kids so that they can grab chicken tenders, they can grab French fry, hot dogs, hamburgers. And then we put a couple lounges there too so that mom and dad can enjoy a cocktail or a mocktail also while they're watching the kids. So it's a
right.
brilliant location. Everything
It
just works in harmony there.
it does, it's great, and I'll tell you a quick story. We had a family of 4 that were booked into it, and the dad was not able to go because of work. So they were gonna cancel, and after talking to him, I said, "No, you go with the kids," and she said, "Okay, it's gonna work out, so since hubby can't go, I'm actually gonna invite" she invited her sister to go with her. We're a little bit concerned because sometimes we get a little bit concerned about our customers. We wanna know what's going on, making sure everybody's happy, even though we know, Royal Caribbean's taking care of them when they're on board. So I text her one day and I'm like, Jill, how's it going? Everything okay? You're not stressing out? And she sent me a picture. She had a glass of wine and a book, and she was sitting on the balcony. And she said, "Nope, my kids are down there playing. I'm not worried about them because there's lifeguards down there." So she
Exactly.
said, "I'm having the best time ever." And I thought that was so cool to hear that because she was on the balcony having her glass of wine, reading a book, and she did not care what the kids were doing because she said, "There's lifeguards down there. I'm good.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I'm
that's
really
great, and
good."
that's a great point. We have lifeguards at all of our swimming areas, whether it's on board the ship, whether it's in a children's area or adult area, there are lifeguards, and then over at Perfect Day CocoCay too, we have lifeguards at all of the at the out at the beaches,
Mhm.
at all the different, Splashaway Bay, in the water park, over at Hideaway Beach, where we've got the adult only section. So we've got you covered. You can really have a relaxing and safe vacation,
That's right.
knowing that we got the safety piece of it covered.
So families, think about that Surfside family suite. That's perfect.
And another fun fact about the Surfside Family Suite is there's this huge chalkboard when you walk in, and there's chalk there so you can write messages to the kids, or the cabin steward will write messages to the family. And it's just a fun kind of interactive piece and very fitting to the Surfside Family Suite. And, we've got the family dog that's on board our icon ships too. That all kind of came about with the Surfside Family Suite, with the Ultimate Family Villas suite. It was sort of a joke. Michael Bailey had said, "Wow, the only thing we're missing, is the family dog." So that
Okay.
was the development or the introduction of our chief dog officer. So Rover is our first chief dog officer that lives full time on the Icon of the Seas. We've got Sailor, who is on our Star of the Seas, and we just got baby Skipper, who's growing fast, who will be brought on the Legend of the Seas. So they're there to interact with our guests who want to interact with our chief dog officers. And they're also there for therapeutic purposes for our crew and staff, right? Because they're on really long contracts with us. They're far away from home. They're missing their
Mhm.
family and their family pets. So it's really just warms your heart when you see Sailor and Skipper and Rover running through, whether it's through Central Park or the Royal Promenade. And
They're
just a
amazing.
hint, if you're looking for the best spot to spot them, their pee pad their potty pad is right by the fitness center. So you know that the walkthrough that you can
Yes.
do for the running walking track,
Yes.
that is where their relief pad is. So it's a great you'll have a great opportunity to catch them there. So anytime I'm in the gym, I have a pretty good chance of spotting one
That's
of
where
the
you go.
3 depending on the ship I'm on.
Well, I think there was a picture of you I saw somewhere with the skipper or not skipper, sailor
Yeah,
in the next cruise office or something. No, that's where I saw the baby on the Star of the Seas in the next cruise, but
yeah,
I saw a picture
yeah.
of you somewhere.
I was in the fitness center
It was, okay.
when she it was Sailor came walking through, yeah. But you'll see them running, chasing a ball down Perfect Day, CocoCay. I'll tell you that would be the job that I'd like to interview for next is to be the full-time trainer, right? That has to live on board the ship to navigate and to train the chief dog officers.
Could you imagine?
Uh,
Could you
they
imagine? We'll have to bring your 2, your 2 babies on our next Unfiltered
Oh, I would love to do that, yeah,
at some
absolutely.
point.
You will meet my chief dog officers, absolutely.
That's right. They keep you and your hubby in line for sure, don't they?
They do. They like boating too, but our boat is not quite the size of an Icon
Right,
class.
that's okay. So, the next one, it's new to Royal Caribbean on the Icon is the Infinite Veranda.
Yes,
I've
yes.
grown to like these.
I
I
had
really
the
have.
opportunity, my husband and I stayed in those on numerous occasions, and they really are wonderful. So, this is a new technology that allows the balcony to be a part of your stateroom, right? So instead of stepping out to the outdoors to overlook the water, you're actually the space is on the inside of your stateroom. So it's a window that's really almost from floor to ceiling that's cut in half. And the electronics would bring the window down halfway. So you just
Mhm.
press a button, the window opens up. Now you've got the open breeze coming into your stateroom. There's even a shade, of course, that you can bring up and down if you need some shading for that. But this is all part of your stateroom. So you've got the extra footage and extra space in your stateroom as well. It's really a wonderful concept and
It is.
it works really well. Coming in, there's actually again a curtain that allows you to close if you want a little extra privacy. Sometimes I'm up earlier than my husband and I'll go out onto that part of the stateroom, close the curtain, put the window down and, read a book or jump on my computer and do some work. But it offers some privacy as well within the room.
I can't wait to go on the Legend because do you remember what year the original Legend of the Seas came out? It was in the 90
Oh
it had to
my
be.
gosh, I early 90s, yeah, that
I've
is
got
a good trivia question.
I've gotta look this
Don't
up, real quick.
know if
Oh,
I remember.
1995. Yeah,
95, okay, okay.
1995. Just a few years after I got into the travel business
Okay,
on the
yeah,
Legend, and I went
yeah.
on the
I
original several times.
I joined, the cruise industry back in 1985, didn't come on board with Royal Caribbean until 2002. So, I always say this is my forever home now, but yeah,
Oh,
I
you're not
was
going anywhere, don't even think that.
No, it's my I'm here for a very, very, very long time.
Retirement is not in your cards
No, it's
anytime
not
soon.
I'm having way too much fun. Who
We
needs to retire?
sorry, but we depend on you way too much, so you can't go anywhere. There is just
And, you look down the pipeline of all the new things happening with Royal Caribbean, I say to myself, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be a part of all these new and wonderful developments and private destinations and new ships that are being built and introduced. And, just not so long ago, we announced the fact that we've got a new class of ship that we've
I can't
already
wait.
ordered from the shipyard. But, that'll happen in the first one in 2029 with the first Discovery class, and then followed by the second one in which is this is a hard number for me to say, T32 in the year 2032. Yeah, it's amazing. It just really shows the strength and stability um, in the innovativeness of Royal Caribbean.
There's a lot of different cruise lines and ships. Honestly, nothing compares to Royal. They just don't. They keep innovating, and I don't know who comes up with the design and what they're adding onto the ships, but it's absolutely it's just amazing. I can't wait. Absolutely
Yeah.
cannot wait. I wish I could do the transatlantic, but I'm definitely gonna do that 3 night, and I'm sure at some point I'll be on one of the 8 nights because I love the ports that the 8 night is gonna be going to. I
Well, you'll
can't
have
wait.
to let us know so we can jump on and join you as well, Danny.
Right. Exactly. I have to talk about one that's very popular. You've upped your game with the Sky Junior Suite and compared to the normal. You still have the Sky Suite ships, but Royal has changed things up. They always do, and now you've got the Sky Junior Suite, which is so popular with us. And it's part of it's the Sky class.
Yeah, so on the Oasis class, the Icon class, and Quantum class ships, we have a three-tier suite program. The entry level would be called the C, and that would be kind of just some of your entry-level suite amenities and benefits. And then Sky really kind of just opens up to many more benefits and amenities that you get for booking a range of categories in that suite class. And then when we get into the star, which is the top of the suite category, well, then it's, even more. So if you're looking for something all inclusive, that's where you'd want to look for those accommodations. But the sky gives you a whole plethora of specialty amenities or exclusive amenities, such as you could have access to the coastal kitchen, which is for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You get they're always put in some of the most beautiful locations of the ship. So for the icon, for instance, it's in the back of the ship. I'm sorry, it's in the forward part of the ship, overlooking the Aqua Theater. So it's a two-story coastal kitchen, and you're sitting in, looking into the Aqua Theater. It's absolutely beautiful. On our Oasis class, they're in the back of the ship. So you're looking out over the back, but there's stunning views with,
Right.
Florida window views and absolutely gorgeous. Same thing with Quantum class. Beautiful settings there. So Sky again would offer, or Sky class would offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a coastal kitchen. You have access all day to the concierge suite or the suite lounge, also to the suite neighborhood for those ships that have suite neighborhoods. And Icon class has suite neighborhoods, which has an exclusive entrance with a
Mm,
full pool. You got lots of, sun deck, sunning area, shaded area, sitting area. You get your Wi-Fi included also with the Sky program. So, and it goes into like luxury bathroom amenities and your pillow menu and your, finer linen choices that come with that as well. So just it's a whole list of things that come with the Sky um, tier, not just the luxury of the stateroom, but the amenities and the benefits that come with it.
right. And you know what? This may sound a little crazy. I love having Coastal Kitchen part of that, but for the entertainment, the big thing I like about that is if you're in those 2 top tiers in the not the sea, but the sky and the star, right?
Right.
You can make reservations for the shows, for the Aqua show, for the Ice show, for the Broadway shows before anybody else can, and those go very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have specialty seating too, so
Right,
VIP reserved seating for the show, so you got the best seats in the house, not that there's a bad seat, but might
right,
be a little better seating, or it's just reserved seating.
right, but you get early access to both that,
Yeah. Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
nice. Yeah, and then, of
Yeah.
course, the suite lounge, that's
Yes.
sounds crazy, it's not like there's not enough food on the ships, but having those hors d'oeuvres in the afternoon
Yeah.
is nice
Just
to
a
go in
nice
there.
touch, yeah.
It
It's a
is.
nice quiet area,
It
absolutely.
it really it's funny the times we've been in that class, you go in there and then you go to dinner, and I always wind up passing on, appetizers because I've already had my appetizers. Oh my gosh, this is a lot, and wow, you've really brought more insight to me and hopefully
Thank
people
you.
that will watch this. Sorry guys if it's gone too long, but this is unfiltered and sometimes we get a little sidetracked on little fun stuff like talking about the harmony of the seas coming to Port Canaveral, being totally amplified and so much fun. This business
Yeah,
is
it
we could
is.
not be in a better business, could we?
I agree, and it is just so forever, there's something new coming and evolving and exciting, and it's just a new wow every time, like we just announced the Hero and some of the things that will be introduced on that ship. But, going back to all Icon Class, there's 28 dining venues. Now, Danny, we could do a whole series just on dining and
Mhm.
entertainment on the ships, but 28 dining venues, and that doesn't mean that there's a cost to all of them. About half
Right.
of them are complimentary, so, so many choices and so many options. It's just fun.
It is. It's when you talk about all the dining options, even on the icon of the star, it seems like every time you turn around, there's some kind of a great food option for you that's included. So don't think just because we talk about specialty restaurants and things like that, that you have to do that, but you probably will.
They're
And
pretty amazing.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, talking about the Hero, gosh, we were not going to talk about other ships, but here we go. The Hero. I'm trying to think, is this my favorite place? Is the Hideaway my favorite place on an Icon ship? I think it it probably is between the Aquadome and the
Oh,
Hideaway, but now they're still gonna have the infinite pool or,
mhm,
on the
mhm.
Hero of the Seas, but now you're gonna have a swim-up pool there as well. Did I read that right in the press release that came out?
Yeah, that's it. That's absolutely correct. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not, we are the family brand and we do really cater to multi-generation, but there's just as much to do for adult activity as there is for children. And the neighborhoods are so well designed that they're very intimate and they kind of just stroll, blend one into the other as you're going through the ship that you really never notice how big the ship is. It just feels
Mhm,
very intimate in all the neighborhoods, and I think that's probably the biggest takeaway when you look at the build and the design of
mhm.
an Icon class, and Oasis class as well.
Yeah, oh, yeah. You're right, yeah, that's right. Even though you definitely are a family cruise line, but there's so many options for adults. So, when you're planning that anniversary trip, I just thought about that. Yeah, when you're planning like your anniversary trip or a honeymoon and you hear Royal Caribbean, they are a family cruise line, don't think that way because with the Hideaway, the other options, Central Park, I hardly ever see any kids in that area for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
I don't know
The
why.
Aquadome, the Central Park, we have the casinos on board, but the Aquadome during the day when when it's not a show venue is a beautiful area. There's a whole
It's
area
amazing.
on the forward side of the the waterfall that's all glassed and closed, and there's a coffee bar there and another little lounge, but it's quiet. There's these really cool pods that you can sit in, and I see people
Yes.
with their laptops or just hanging out and watching the scenery go by. But there's just I say we are the brand of E, and E is for everyone because there really is something for everyone on board.
You're right. See, you're always bringing insight all the time. Every time we talk to you, every time. And the Aquadome, I'll give my secret away. If you can do it, is Hooked, one of my
Yeah,
favorite specialty restaurants. And if you can get your reservations just right, you may be able to stay in there and enjoy Hooked dining during the Aqua Show, which
absolutely.
which I've done
Yes.
before.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome, and then be also inside of Hooked, we've got the chef's table, which alternates to the celebration table. So again, looking for something for a celebration, the celebration will allow you to book it as a private table. I believe it's somewhere between, 14 or 16 seats in that room, and it has 3 different dining menu choices, right? So you could do I think it's a French night, it's an American night, and maybe a Italian night that you can choose from and have your own private dining experience, or you could book
Where
it
is this again?
individually. This is in the celebration table, which also alternates to the chef's table.
Oh,
It's
okay.
located on the
Okay.
backside or inside of the Hook seafood restaurant.
It is in there.
Yeah, yeah, you'll have to check it out the next time you're on
I've
board.
never seen it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful room. Yeah.
So, Joe, I've got a suggestion. Let's do lunch on the Star.
I agree. Okay, what are you doing Sunday?
Let's go. Joe, thank you for this insight today, and I can't wait to talk
Thank you.
about other things. Oh my gosh, you've opened up a whole world with this. We've got to talk about some of the classic ships on Royal
Yes.
Caribbean, the new dining venues on the new Hero of the Seas. There's so much.
Entertainment, there's just you're right, the list goes on and on. So I can't wait for you to invite me back.
Yeah. Oh, you, I have no doubt. I have no doubt. But today it's April 1st. Let's hope it's not an April Fool's and Artemis 2 doesn't go up today because Joe and I both here in the Space Coast, so we're gonna be outside this afternoon to watch
That's right.
the astronauts go up into space.
That
So, we live in an exciting area for
we
sure.
do. We do. We're very
Mm,
lucky.
thanks. I'm gonna get busy returning phone calls and booking customers on Royal Caribbean. Have a good day, guys. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.